Hey, my name is Jacob Gregory, and my speech is on why colleges should prioritize student mental health through mandatory mental health education. When most people think about college, they imagine independence, new experiences, and preparing for a successful future. But behind that image, there is something a lot less talked about. According to national surveys, more than half of college students report experiencing overwhelming anxiety each year, and nearly one third say they felt so depressed it was difficult to function. That means in a typical college classroom, a significant number of students are not just stressed, they're struggling to get through the day. College is often described as one of the most exciting periods of life, but it is also one of the most stressful. Students are balancing academic pressure, financial stress, social comparison, and uncertainty about their future all at once. Despite this, most students actually are never taught how to manage their mental health in a structured way. We're expected to just figure it out as we go. Today, I want to argue that colleges should require mandatory mental health education courses or workshops for students, not just optional counseling services, but actual preventative education built into the college experience. I will first explain the seriousness of the mental health crisis among college students. Then I will show why current campus resources aren't enough. Finally, I will present a practical solution and explain how it can directly benefit students. First, the issue is growing and serious. Rates of anxiety and depression among college students have steadily increased over the past decade. Studies from organizations like American College Health Association show that more and more students are being diagnosed with mental health conditions each year. But even beyond official diagnosis, many students are simply overwhelmed. Academic pressure is intense, especially when grades feel tied to future job opportunities. Financial stress adds another layer, with many students working part-time jobs while taking full course loads. And on top of that, there is the pressure of social media, where everyone else seems more successful, more confident, and more put together. These stressors don't just make college harder, they seriously affect performance and well-being. Untreated mental health struggles can lead to lower academic achievement, substance abuse, and even increased dropout rates. The second part of the problem is that most colleges are not focused on prevention. Yes, many schools offer counseling services, and those are important, but they usually only come into play after a student is already struggling. That's reactive, not proactive. A lot of students also don't recognize early warning signs of burnout or depression. Things like constant exhaustion, loss of motivation, or emotional numbness are often dismissed as just college stress. Students push through until things get worse. And finally, there is stigma. Even though mental health awareness has improved, many students, especially men, still hesitate to talk about what they're going through. There's a fear of being judged or seen as weak, which keeps people silent. So what we have is a situation where the problem is widespread, but education and early prevention are missing. The solution is not complicated. Colleges should implement mandatory mental health education programs, especially for first-year students. This could take the form of a required course, seminar, or workshop series that focuses on practical real-life skills. First, students would learn coping strategies they can actually use. That includes stress management techniques, basic time management, sleep hygiene, and emotional regulation skills. These are tools that can directly reduce daily stress and prevent burnout before it builds up. Second, students would learn how to recognize mental health warning signs early. This matters a lot. If students can identify when they or their peers are struggling, they can respond earlier instead of waiting until things become severe. They would also learn how to properly access campus mental health resources and support systems. That alone could increase the number of students who actually seek help when they need it. Third, mandatory education helps reduce stigma. When something is required, it sends a message that it's important. If every student is learning about mental health, it becomes normal. It stops being a personal issue and becomes part of overall well-being. It reinforces the idea that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that struggling doesn't make someone weak, it makes them human. Um, Why this benefits students. First, improved academic performance. Students who know how to manage stress are able to focus better, retain information more efficiently, and avoid burnout during exams and deadlines. In other words, better mental health leads to better grades. Second, stronger emotional resilience. College is not college is not the last stressful period in life. It is actually preparation for adulthood. Learning how to handle pressure now builds long-term resilience that helps in careers, relationships, and future responsibilities. And third, lifelong skills. Unlike many college subjects, these skills don't expire after graduation. Knowing how to manage stress, recognize burnout, and maintain mental well being is something that stays with you for life. In conclusion, college students today are facing a growing mental health crisis, and the current system is not doing enough to prevent it. We often respond after problems become serious instead of teaching students how to manage their mental health from the beginning. By implementing mandatory mental health education, colleges can give students practical coping skills, help them recognize warning signs early, and reduce the stigma around mental health struggles. If colleges are responsible for preparing students academically for their future careers, then they should also be responsible for preparing them emotionally for life. Education should not only build degrees, it should also build resilience. Thank you.